Something new. It hit me. Let's do it. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
Shalom.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it. All right. You got it. All right. So back to 924, brother.
Yes, let me reread. Slakia, the battery issue. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? This is actually Esau, Edom during the Renaissance time for the rebirth. He covered. He changed the face of our heavenly Father Yahweh, his son Yahweh Shai, the men of Israel, the judges, the angels, and made them look like they are Edomites, and then lied and said that these images portray what the heavenly Father, his son, and everybody else in Israel looks like.
That's blasphemy. Esau did some blasphemy against the Holy Spirit stuff too. He covered the face of the women and children, although they're not judges.
Them too.
He even whitewashed the Egyptians. Now they're going to whitewashing. You know that calls pretty good. That equals iconoclasm.
The replacement theology as well.
Replacement theology. If this ain't the man, if not, where and who is he? If this ain't the man, where is he and who is he? If this man, the colonizers, they rape, rob, pillage, set on fire, tortured, did this throughout the earth.
They did.
If this man ain't the wicked, the wicked, they some bad people then. Because this man did stuff. It's like, how could you even think of something like that? They got pictures of Jake hanging by hooks. So you just put one hook into somebody's rig and hang him up by one hook. That's something you might see in some horror movie somewhere.
Boiled them in oil.
Boiled them in sugar. Sugar too. Not saying they did. You know somewhere they did oil. That's not even.
It was oil.
There's not even a doubt. You know they did oil.
Set us on fire.
But you gotta make it more intense. They just set the feet on fire, stuff like that. Now you just went. Actually, you didn't just set. You set his feet on fire. And the feet, bottom of the feet, they got a lot of nerve. It's the whole thing behind it. Medieval torture devices. You say. Somebody just sat down and thought of all this stuff. That kind of spiritual working with it. But so if this man ain't the wicked that the Bible speaks of, who is it? If you ain't the wicked, this man ain't the wicked. Esau, Edom, tabernacles of Eden. It's bad. This man did stuff. You would say anything you could imagine. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 7. Therefore saith the Lord. Now verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Get that one, Abel's blood cried out.
Yes.
Because in the heavens, the Israelites, you know that Revelation talked about, I have to phrase it. We're going to end up going there. You got it?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
The voice of thy brother's blood. So Abel was crying in the spirit world. Go to Revelation 7, verse 13. I believe it was them. But in the spirit world, they was crying out for judgment, to justice being executed upon the earth. And they were told to be patient in the spirit world, the Israelites there. And they were given white robes that certain of their brethren should be killed in the same manner that they was killed, like martyrs for the truth. That happens. I don't know if Revelation 7:13. No, it wasn't that one. But I said the point. This is Baruch chapter 3, verse 4.
O Lord, Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearken unto the voice of their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us.
So we went into captivity and all that, but you see the prayers, they're being sent up. And the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shema Shai, is paying attention to the prayers of his elect. They cry day and night unto him. Shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto them? I tell you, he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth, as is written about. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to avenge his elect, which cry day and night unto him. The prayers of the saints is referred to in Revelation chapter 5. Yahweh Shema Shai knows the prayers of the saints, which equal the elect, because saints are Israelites only. The prayers of the saints, the prayers of the elect are going before Yahweh Shema Shai. Yahweh Shai is pleading the cause for his elect in the heaven of heavens. Yahweh Shai is a mediator, defending the elect in the heaven of heavens, you know. Not that he's up there fighting the Father saying, you can't go down yet. No. You know, like a lawyer kind of, like that kind of thing. A lawyer, a mediator. That's how it's that's what I'm referring to. Now that Yahweh Shai is fighting his Father saying, I'm going to stop you. And for any Christians that might think that, remember, Yahweh Shai spoke about, my Father is greater than I. So that's the Father is greater than the Son.
There you go. The book of Tobit, chapter 12 and verse 15. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One.
Prayers of the saints, the prayers of the Israelites. And the elect is praying, they're sighing and crying, as is written about in the book of Ezekiel. Go back to 2nd Esdras, brother. Oh, they touched the apple of the Most High Yahweh with his eye. Let's get that. They have wickedly done, these Edomites. They have touched the apple of his eye. They ain't going to just get away with all the stuff they've done to the children of Israel. This is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, hosts going to armies. After the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, Israel. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. 2nd Esdras, what verse was it?
Verse 8.
Go verse 8, come.
I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
The wickedness that they have done and still doing now, LGBTQ, so on and so forth, how they fed it to Jake. And Jake is now following that.
Following it as hard as he can.
Because the scripture speaks about train up a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart from it. So if you train up a child in the ways of wickedness, that child doing wickedness, yes, and so on and so forth. They will be judging for that child doing wickedness. But who taught that child to do that wickedness? It goes back to you, Esau, Tabernacles of Edom, to go on to the elites, the bankers. They're going to be punished for that as well. The child will be punished for that, but also the elites of Esau will be punished for that because they pushed it out. They didn't say, don't do it, but the child still did it anyways. All right. But they did it. They told them to do it. That blood, whose blood is going to be required at thy hands.
Okay. Verse 9. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Shootouts, police shooting out, Jake, Israelites, and martyrs coming for Yahweh Shai, as written about. And I saw the souls of them on beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Yahweh, which had not received the mark nor the number of his name, and they didn't worship the beast, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years, as is written about in the book of Revelation. So that will count as innocent blood, a martyr for this truth. And that is going to be avenged. Rejoice, holy apostles and prophets, for God, Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, hath avenged you on her. So in Revelation chapter, I believe it's 18, that's talking about America. That blood that was shed, the martyrs, all that, the apostles, the prophets, all that, it was avenged on her and everything that they went through in America as well, of the holy apostles and prophets. You know, there's many reincarnations we got. Revelation 18, brother. Let me see if I can find it. God hath avenged you on her. Revelation 18:20. Got it.
Okay. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For the Most High Yahweh have avenged you on her.
Yep. A lot of stuff that they went through, and they're still going through now, and yet to come, and that's all going to be avenged. Second Ezra.
This is back to Second Ezra 15, and now we are going into verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
My people as led as a flock to the slaughter. You know, you have sheep and all that, you go to kill them, they get led to the slaughtering thing. And they just walk right in like sheep to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Revelation 18, it's like Revelation 11, verse 8, brother. Spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Let's rip it out. Bring it out. Revelation 11:8. Got it right here.
Okay. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
All right. Spiritually dead Israelite. There's the dead bodies there. The street of the great city. The great city equals America, Babylon the Great. And America is portrayed as the great city as well across the world. You can look up on YouTube. How do the Japanese see America? How do the Russians see America? How do South Americans see America? So on and so forth. What spiritually is called Sodom, Sodom for the abomination that be done in the midst thereof, and for the LGBTQ, so on and so forth, and the acts that was committed in ancient Sodom. Bestiality, concerts there, orgies, and so on and so forth. With disgusting, depraved, against nature acts. The Apostle Paul wrote about they against nature. The man left the natural use of the woman. They left the natural, and the woman left the
natural
man.
use for the man as well.
Two alike don't attract. It's the opposite. That's balance. You have two things that's the same going together. No, you have two opposites. Opposites. It's balance in that. Where also our Lord was crucified, X out Yahweh Shai over here, and they gave this blonde haired, blue eyed devil Jesus Christ, his hippie Jesus Christ. What is love? Free love, all that. Live long and prosper. I don't care what you did. Live long and prosper. Yeah.
All right, this is verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation.
Who tills the ground? Farmers. Next verse.
Okay. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Woe, great sorrow, distress. That's what woe means. Destruction. Ooh. Smoke fell on that piece, but as soon as it said woe, it kind of like broke apart. Interesting. Actually, since I said that, go to Revelation 18, scroll nearly to the bottom, the end of it. The angel's going to take up a great millstone and cast it into the sea and say, with thus violence, great violence, shall that city, Babylon, be overthrown down, shall no one be found at all. My goodness, you look there.
That's Revelation 18 and 21. Let's get.
There you go.
All right, King James. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
Now, when a human throws a little pebble into a, let's just say the pebble's this size. You throw it into the water, that thing go boom.
That's it. It's in the water.
But this is a great millstone. Real millstones got some weight to them. Let me for new viewers, people that may not know, you type in millstone. All right, this is a millstone. Millstone. You see two millstones. Millstone. Just by itself, and you see the ground. Millstone used for grinding grain and so on and so forth. Mighty millstone. You take up a small rock, like this size. You throw it, they go big. But that's an angel doing it as well. So that was mighty when that happened. That's with great violence. The wave going on, the loudness of the water and all that. Go ahead.
All right, this is going to be verse 15. For the for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Egyptian against Egyptian. You're looking up at Satan be divided against Satan. I got it. Oh, you got that.
I got Matthew 24:7.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. City against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Who are the Egyptians, brother?
There's Edomites, it's modern day Edomites.
Which are Americans.
Americans.
And I will set the Americans against the Americans. They shall fight everyone his brother and everyone against his neighbor. City against city, and a kingdom against kingdom. So New York City against Chicago, just to give an example. Not saying it will go down like that, but just to give an example. You have the North and the South. You have the blue and the red. What are they called again? Democratic and Republic. Yeah, they had the division, even that with that. So you can see like a civil war in the midst of it. Kingdom against kingdom. You go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah. Break it down. Yeah.
So nations against nations. You have the U.S. against a specific nation, say Ukraine, Russia. You have India and Pakistan now at odds. That's more open in the public. Now you have China against Pakistan that joined in alliance with India against Pakistan. So we have these nations against these nations. Of course, there's some famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in different places, in a whole bunch of different places. That's how you know the signs of the times of Yahweh Shai coming back.
Get that? You can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the face of the times. Even people in the secular world are seeing like, World War III. You must have heard all the jokes about World War III. If you don't, go look it up. WW3 space memes, MEMES. And you can see at one point I was very popular with that.
Let's do Amplified. Okay, so this is Matthew 16 and verse 3, and this is Amplified version. And in the morning it will be stormy today, for the sky is red and has a threatening look. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but cannot interpret the signs of the times.
Can now discern the signs of the times. The mark of the beast, the RFID, CHIP, right hand or left hand. You have the mark of the beast, which is the MOTB, in the forehead, which is the brain, CHIP. Give an example of the MOTB in the forehead, Neuralink by that Elonite, musky armpits, Musk. The Musk man. You see like, first person who ever took this and so on and so forth. He's making things move with his mind. That man, the Musk man, he did a copyright on telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. Telepathy, and he may have did one on telekinesis. Telepathy is, mind talking.
Well, you can move with your mind and talk to someone with your mind.
Telekinesis is basically the force, lift things up and stuff.
Move it.
Now, from a certain point of view, you might say, because you have that in your mind, you can control computer objects, so that can't be likened to a form of telepathy controlling your TV with your mind, because you took the MOTB. And if you take the MOTB, you will be destroyed. There's no coming back from that. You can't repent from that.
No repentance for that.
Pursuit of Revelation chapter 14 is one example. That's you do that. That's like a digital oil in the Old Testament. In the ancient world, if a servant would love his sons and his wife, he'd be like, I will be a servant to my master forever. They will take his ear, go through the doorpost, and put an oil through his ear, and he will be a servant forever. Forever meaning for the rest of his life. Till that man died. He was a servant to his master. That was between Israelites, by the way, to like it and to get you maybe better for the new brothers. A butler.
Mm-hmm.
A butler is a slave, a servant for life. Just to clarify. Because someone might say they was whipping Israelites, had them out there in cotton fields, setting them on fire. No. Those slaves and servants was justly treated. You know, it wasn't like how Esau with his hardcore slavery. And there's laws about it. Israelites that they were themselves, but punishments and so on and so forth, however Shimon Shai will have that done. But they were treated justly in the ancient, treated unjustly, like how Esau, Edom got his stuff
With
now.
these unjust balances.
Kind. He don't pay the slaves, made no account of his labors, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, and made no account of his labors. John, I done built your empire.
The whole thing, and now you sitting there like you did this yourself, and I'm over here like I did that. No,
I don't know you. Who are
nothing.
you?
Who are you?
Who are you? I done built your empire. Who are you?
The streets, the roads, the houses, the signs, the furniture,
The names,
names,
so
the kitchen, all of that. No regard.
who? And then at one point, you know, the reincarnation, you know, there's no remembrance of past lives. Prophet speaks about there's no remembrance of former things. So the Israelites, we don't build up Esau's empire, but you know, yeah. The many kept working as slaves. Native American Indians, which is the northern kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel, because they came over from the Assyrian captivity. They ended up in America, Asareth. They came to the Americas, as is written about in Second Esdras. They passed through, I believe it's called the Horn of Africa, and the waters and stuff was. All right, let's see if it's the Horn of Africa.
It should be.
They did go that route, but I was furthermore down here. You know, when you go for the travel that the Native American Indians did, the northern kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel, they went through. Oh man. Let's see. Oh man, only the green comes up. Well, as you can see, type in the Horn of Africa, they went towards that direction. They came all the way down to Africa, then came up. And they encountered very turbulent waters. And the Heavenly Father stayed the water, and that was a sign unto them, as written about in Second Esdras. Okay.
All right, back to Second Esdras 15. This is going to be verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
What movie comes to mind, brother? With that, any movie outside of the Purge, because the Purge that goes into the Purge.
That's a big one. Of the Purge.
For there shall be sedition among men. Look up sedition. Let's see if I get. Oh, half of it work. Look up sedition among men. And if hating one another, kick down their door. Boom, shoot the locks. Boom, boom, bam. The man's wife is screaming, the children screaming, the man is screaming, trying to get his gun or whatever. They shall not regard their kings. The president has spoken. Stop doing this. I don't care. All right. No princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, no 911 in that day. And there will be no 911 in that day. If a woman slaps a man and screams in his face, that man slaps her back, there will be no 911.
That's it.
Let's say that happens and the husband steps involved with the woman and beats the man out, shoots him up. There will be no 911 in that day, amongst other things, you know, thievery and stealing and all that. RAPE, robberies, thefts, killings, tortures, all that. No 911. Of course, their actions stand in power. Police department will be no more like that. They, you know, sedition.
All right, sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch.
Look up the definition of monarch.
That's going to be with the thrones for kings and queens.
Let's see. Yeah. I want to see if the presidency can vouch. See if Emperor Nero.
So this is a sovereign head of state, especially a king, queen, or emperor.
It fits the president of the United States.
It fits the president.
It fits Emperor Nero, who is current president of the United States, in the reincarnation as Donald J. Trump. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it, as Trump said. You know, he really could be the chosen one. Somebody had to do it for the MOTB to be enforced in World War III. He could really be the man that was the chosen one. Mr. Trump, you are the chosen one to bring about the destruction of your empire and your race of men. You know, Esau, going to the race of men, Esau is nationality. Mr. Trump, you are the chosen one to bring the end of your nationality, your nation, which is Esau, to go down. And also the sons of men are going to go down as well. You have three classifications of men in the scriptures: the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. The sons of God is the Israelites. Genesis chapter 6 is the sons of God. You see about that? That's the Israelites. Israel, before they were called Israelites, they were known as the sons of God. Yeah, because Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's name got changed to Israel, and so on and so forth with the Israelites. But Abraham wouldn't have been called an Israelite, right? He wouldn't have been called an Israelite. So what was it? He was the sons of God, that lineage. So Israel is the sons of God, the sons of the power, sons of Elohim. I have said, ye are gods. None of you are sons of the Most High. Psalm 82, verse 6. I spoke about that as well. The book of Job, it talks about the sons of God for the angels. And the angel, with John revelated, was like, I am your fellow servant, a brethren, which means that angel is an Israelite, which means he's called the sons of God. You have the sons of men, which is the other heathen nations. And you have the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, tabernacles of Edom. You know, the garden, that serpent was a man. It wasn't an actual snake. It wasn't Smaug saying, thou hast said in the day, and it's just giant snake and all this. It wasn't like that. It was a man. It was the sons of the wicked, of Edomite. And you know, these men in the scriptures, sons of God, sons of men, and you got the back to second Esdras. Oh, I don't know if that's the next verse, but all right. Click on this. I didn't hit the X. I did not hit the X. I hit center. It went out.
It's always something with this stuff. One moment.
It's like that Satan boy. I did not hit the X. The X is over here somewhere, and I hit right here. This is spiritual warfare. It's truly a spiritual warfare. All right. Hebrews verse 11.
All right, so we just read verse 16. We read it one more time. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in power. We just went into that. And of course, a current event for that would be Russia invading Ukraine. They don't care. They just want to take it over. Now, 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
All right, so we'll call this lockdowns. Lockdown. You cannot pass through into New York City. Where is your digital ID? You are not classified to enter this zone, this sector. You are not classified to enter sector orange. Just to give an example, you know.
Right.
18.
Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
There's a bunch of scriptures concerning pride, but pride shall be humbled. Let's get that. Wait. Yeah, go this one.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
So when nuclear destruction comes, the haughty looks of men, their pride is going to be fallen. Now, before that happens, but because of pride, their pride, the people's prideful all around. Get that one, why is dirt and ashes proud? All these people's proud. Why is dirt and ashes proud?
Dirt and ashes.
Yeah, you driving, you get in front of somebody, you cut them off, their pride starts kicking in. You can't be that. You can't cut in front of me. I'm better than you. They cut you off. Just the example of pride, so on and so forth. So because of all that pride these people have, these 16 stuff Yahweh hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto them. First one that appears on the list is a proudful look. A proudful look. That's the first that appears on the list. And it goes on down, which describes Esau, Edom, tabernacles of Edom. Scripture speak about evil shall be put out in second Esdras and so on and so forth, shall be quenched. These Edomites, they're evil. They're going to be put out and quenched and exterminated, pursuing Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. But the proudful look that is first on the list, numero uno, that these 16 doth Yahweh hate, 7 are an abomination unto him, written about in the book of Proverbs. So because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. You see, they're going to go down because of pride, all that pride they have. You know, in Genesis, there was wickedness, so the earth got destroyed for that. So because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. That how they shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Men are the stronger vessel than the woman, pursuant to Apostle Paul. And you can see that in the secular world. You have men, if you were to mix the Olympics and sports and stuff, that would be a whole thing, and the men would blasting and stuff left and right. Yes, you're gonna have man gonna win. Have them wrestle. You're gonna have the man win. You have them box. Man gonna win. MMA, man win. And it keeps on going and going and going. Because the men, they train. The women, they did whatever training. And the men gonna go in there, whatever they do, boom, boom, bam, boom. That's too easy for the man, actually. That's not a fair fight. That's a one-sided battle. That man can actually somewhat semi-relax. Women have their own sector of strength, and men is a whole nother world of strength. If you compare the two, to a woman to a man, especially when the men train. Somebody says, "Well, this is the world's strongest woman," to the average man. They start having people train and stuff and all that, and it's even there. But even when women train to the average man, they are still. The average man can still be strong even though the women train. You know, you have when the boys go through puberty and stuff, the testosterone, all that, their strength and stuff increases. So you compare them to a 25-year-old woman. She's much older than that teenager boy, man, because boys become men at puberty 13. That's when the boy becomes a man. So you have that teenage boy, man. Compare that to a 25-year-old woman. Let's say she's a teacher and it's a high school. Could that teenager boy overpower that average 25-year-old woman? Yes. Even at a younger age, before they get without training, they still overpowering the woman. That woman, she better know what she's doing. She could be 30 years old. That lady better know what she's doing. Even if she did exercise somewhat, you know, they better know what they're doing, that woman, if she get to a fight with that boy. I'll go straight out, read it.
All right, this is Sirach chapter 10 and 9. This is the GNT version. We are only dust and ashes. What have we got to be proud of? Our bodies decays even while we are alive.
Why is dirt and ashes proud?
Why are dirt and ashes proud?
That's human. Humans are made out of dirt and ashes. Pursuing the Genesis, they came out of that dirt. And if you don't believe me, even in the secular world, no, if you know about nutrients and stuff, what people eat, they need calcium, iron, copper, magnesium, all these different minerals. They're in the earth. Iron is in the earth. You use iron with cooking knives and so on and so forth. But humans have iron in their blood. They have oxygen and so on and so forth. They have different minerals. Humans contain different minerals inside of them, just like that. If you want a plant to grow healthy, you gotta have some good fertile soil.
That's right.
You gotta have all the minerals in there. The plant's gonna have all these minerals. And if it's really good soil, they call that black gold. Like they call African American Negroes black people. You know, the different shades of brown. See the point? And the black gold ain't. It's a deep color. It's a deep brown color. And look up black gold. But yeah, the soil, even all that, it contains rich minerals. It becomes dark people, like dark-skinned people. So that also proves people come from the dirt, the soil. Black. Dark skin. I'm looking at it right here. Let's see if I can get it. This is black gold, what they call it. Looks a bit brighter on screen, but let's get an even darker one. Even darker, but that still don't look like space black. So yeah, now I'm looking at this ain't space black. This is different. This is a deep shade of brown. So Adam and Eve and God, they would have been dark skinned. different topic. Why would they be red skin like Genesis 25:25 and Edomites? That's a whole weaker complexion. The melanin is weaker against the sun. Science behind it, but different topic. They were dark skinned. And that also proves that humans, they come from the dirt, minerals and all that. Why are these humans proud? Why are these mere mortals proud? Why are these mortals so proud out here? The angels, their energy, who make it this angels fire. Get that one. Who maketh his spirits fire and his flaming vessel something. Who maketh his angels fire. The angels are spirits, their energy, their fire. Spirits. Angels are spirits. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 7. Yeah.
And of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire.
Psalm chapter 104, verse 4. Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flaming fire. Angels are not dead and ashes. They don't need calcium and all this stuff to survive. They don't need air to breathe, actually. Different topic. Why are these mortals proud? Why are these mere mortals proud? All right, back to second Ezra, brother. Oh. So because of their pride and all that, cities shall be troubled, destroyed.
Verse 19, just chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Spoil their goods, take their goods for lack of bread equals a famine. You know, you're hungry, you're starving. People ate themselves. Cannibalism is what I was saying. And some people might actually cut off fingers, their own fingers, and then eat them. They're eating their own fingers because they're so hungry. Better to be slain with the sword than by famine, as is written in the book of Lamentations. Better to be slain with sword. You had mothers there in 70 AD, the siege of Jerusalem. There was a mother, Testament account in the book of Josephus, Flavius. You got a book about it? She ate her own child. And when the men came in that was going around looking for food, they got messed up too. I mean, they was ready to rob people and all that. They got messed up. I believe she may have boiled him. I believe I did a video on that, but here it is. Lamentations 4, verse 9.
They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for what we want of the fruits of the field.
Something to eat that's stricken, they wither away. You go to a science, you know, you got some, I forgot what it's called, but they get big stomachs. That's not because they're filled up. That's because they're famine. And if they eat let's say they would eat what they want to eat. All right, you're starving. Here go a bunch of beef, vegetables, all this, so on and so forth. They would die because their bodies can't handle it. It's too much for them. They was eating leather belts. They ate bird doodle. And I believe they ate grass. But they ate bird doodle. I can tell you that. I remember that. They were selling the bird doodle for a certain amount of money, which doesn't lead to the extremes of cutting off their own fingers, eating it. They're eating their own toes. They don't need those, even though you do need your toes to walk.
Right. Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 20. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them.
To the Israelites, to the apple of his eye, the chosen, the elect of the chosen people, Israel. All right, we're going to go to 21, then go to 2 Ezra 16.
All right, verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh.
Yet to my chosen this day, even till today. Man, you can make a list. Start a list. I'm actually horrific things happen to slaves in USA. AI Act. What's the AI? It usually comes up.
Usually comes up. It's
I
not
didn't want to
showing up.
answer it. All right, I'm gonna go ChatGPT. Let's see if ChatGPT will give me an answer. No, ChatGPT has some like malfunction. They call it hiccups, and it does some creepy stuff. Sounds like the demons. Physical violence and torture, whipped, beaten, hunted, mutilated. Get mutilated, because I don't. Some people may or may not know. As punishment or to enforce submission. Torture devices like iron collars. Deuteronomy 28. Yokes of iron upon thy neck till he have destroyed thee. Truly, we have destroyed people mentally. We didn't get like wiped off the face of the earth, but destroyed mentally. Shackles, thumb screws. If you don't know what a thumb screw is, think of you have your thumb. They have the thing go through and crush your thumb. Screw. You got mutilated? Okay.
Yep. Inflict a violent and disfiguring injury on.
Alright, make it simple. They cut off your hair. That's mutilation right there.
Your ear, your hair, your finger.
Or even cut into you.
They cut into you, gouge out your eye, maybe cut your tongue out, something of that extent.
Yeah, that's going to mutilation.
Chop off your foot.
Yeah. Taking a knife and dig it into you for fun. For whatever reason. Because this is the devil, no?
This is the devil, exactly.
Looked up the thumb screw.
Yeah, that's
basically crushing your thumb.
Yeah. They have a device where you input your thumbs and they turn a lever and then something comes down to crush your thumbs.
And I don't know. I'm just thinking, was it? Because from the pictures, wasn't like this piece, you know? It was this piece. Where the nail is. That'd make it even worse, you might think. Yeah, I got a picture. It's not graphic. It's not graphic, this one, but all right. YouTube would take it down to hot minute.
That is some wickedness.
Sexual violence. Wait, I can skip. Some enslaved people were maimed or killed with no legal consequences for the enslavers. They slay them and hold themselves not guilty, saying, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." It was written on, skip that one. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. To the scriptures. Maimed. I have to go somewhere.
Okay, Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possesses slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. The possessors of the ones that were slain. The slain is the Israelites. Their possessors, Edomites. They hold themselves not guilty. So to keep this simple, we're no longer on actual plantations, but when we were on plantations, there were horrific things that were done to us on the plantations. And the possessors, those were the masters, the Edomites, they held themselves not guilty. Nobody was guilty for what they did, no matter what it was, no matter how horrific it was. We were sold to different other plantations. We were sold for wine. We were sold for this, that, and the other. And their own shepherds pity them not. So they were over us. There was no pity for us. They did whatever they wanted to do. No matter how bad they did it, it was done, and there was no punishment. They were held blameless.
I am not guilty. Revelation 13:10 comes to mind, and Psalm chapter 50, verse 21 comes to mind. Before and after verses of Psalm 50. Mm-hmm. Sexual violence. Enslaved women and girls were frequently raped by slaveholders, overseers, or others in power. Enslaved men and boys were also subject to sexual abuse. Fun fact of the day. It's not a fun fact. Take that out.
Fact of the day.
Who was the first drag queen, brother? Where you don't know?
The first drag queen was some type of Israelite man, if I believe
Yep, you're right. It was a slave. He came out of slavery.
Yeah.
He came out. He was a slave. That was the first drag queen.
And that says a lot, especially today, for men, specifically Hebrew men, that want to make it in the music and the acting industry, the things that they have to do that's likened unto dressing up as a woman and acting like a woman, and even letting someone else sodomize them in that way to for them to receive the glory and the riches that they're looking for.
Buck breaking goes into that.
Bug breaking, yeah.
There will be punishments for that in the kingdom. Now it will be righteous punishments. The Israelite men are not going to have sex with the Edomite men in the kingdom. That ain't going to happen. It's going to be by the laws, statutes, and commandments. An Israelite man will not take the wife of an Edomite man and commit adultery with her in front of her, in front of the man as well, and his children. That will not be done. It's going to be according to the laws, statutes, and commandments. So they have the men, women, children, little girls, little boys, rapes, pedophiles. These acts were not only a violation, but tools of domination and control. Families were ripped apart and forced labor under extreme conditions. Long hours, 16 plus hours a day, brutal conditions, plantations, worked to death.
In the hot sun.
In the cold, frigid
cold
weather.
And rain, whatever was going on. No mercy.
There's a torture thing about you put the people in a cage, but you have them butt naked and leave them to the elements. So on the hottest day of the year, you was out there saying, man, I gotta go inside. It's hot. I'm gonna give me some water. Or they would people even out there butt naked in cages to the extreme heat. So that cage heated up and got hot and burned their feet, I would say. I believe it was the Romans that did that, ancient Romans. Could have been the Greeks. Same thing for cold. It's freezing out there. Out there, butt naked, frigid. So anybody that's ever been in hot weather, 100 degrees plus, you've been out there, you're frigiding, shivering from the cold, that as well. And even more today that they do the torture that Esau does, that's not spoken about.
There's a lot of torturing and maiming and mutilation going on behind the scenes.
Even in Alabama. This is outside of the elites because, the elites are doing this, but outside of them, Alabama. How many Israelites are going missing a day and so on and so forth that
a lot.
We don't know about?
A lot.
But the righteous blood is crying out. The blood of those Israelites crying out too. Shem Shai.
For that recompense.
Now you also have wicked about people, which is being judgment upon them as well. Because I said righteous, somebody might interpret that differently. Because you got wicked about people being justice and judgment executed upon them. But Esau, you done ripped them apart. What you did there, brother Esau? Because Esau is Jacob's brother, remember that. They had no rights to rest, safety, or fair treatment. Worked in mines, other industries. There was a story about the parents had to work. What's that? You had a daily quota. Okay. So if you did not meet the quota, which Esau would have set a high quota. Very high. Very hard quota. If it was possible, humanly possible. And if you do not meet the daily quota, we will do this to get said child. So they're in there working to death. Oh my goodness. And especially if they worked a woman like that.
Yeah.
Because the women are the weaker vessel. Then I don't see them. The men, maybe they could meet the quota, unless it's just impossibly high. But men work harder. Men have testosterone, so on and so forth. You give a woman a job with a man, what did you do? And they make it even hard for the man, if not impossible for the man. How is a woman supposed to do that?
Even today, when I go to these different grocery stores, and you do have women that work in these stores, and they're doing the work, the same work that a man would do, I see them struggle and have a hard time, and even ask the men for help to complete that task.
Yeah, that's the old, you go to the store and need this thing done. I'm gonna go find the tiniest lady in here.
That happens too. I see it all the time. There's always a female worker, and she's probably 5 foot tall, and then somebody wants her to help them get something off the highest shelf, big boxes. How is she supposed to do that? She can't do that.
I'm gonna find look for the tiniest lady.
She can't do that. I've had a worker like that asked me for help to get something for somebody else. I have no idea if I was supposed to help this woman or not, but I was already standing in the aisle. All I had to do was just pick up my arms, pick it up, grab it, and do this. It was very easy for me, but for her, it was the most difficult challenge in her life.
Opening jars of peanut butter, maybe. Even the simplest things for a man. I wonder if that lady liked you, brother, because I might butcher the word, but soup. What's it called when you go out to the highest? I forgot superfluous.
Superficial.
No, the elder apostles bring it out, but the women go out to like the power, and strength. So I was thinking maybe that happened with that, but go find a tiniest little lady in there to do some of man's work. Enslaved people were considered property, had no legal personhood. Families split apart, separated, crying, mourning. If you had any, say what you said.
I see women struggle trying to take the garbage to the dump to pick up the bags, the heavy garbage bags to throw it over into the dump.
And the man just does it with like
just very simple for me. No matter how, I don't. That's just it is what it is. You pick it up, you throw it, you go about your day. She's still standing there.
I found out something. The men that take them hormones to become women, they actually lose a lot of their man strength, and they said they had hard time opening jaws. They struggle with jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can't open a peanut butter jar.
Magic come with a price.
Something going on. Let's get that out. I forgot where it's at. In Revelation, it talks about pharmacy being magic, which is going back to the Greek word pharmakia. So the pharmakia, pharmacy, all the different concoction medicines of some plague doctor somewhere. That's all going back to magic.
And it's a vast majority of magics in there with pharmakia. It's a lot.
You find that the natural uses work better.
The remedies. And also there are books that you can buy in bookstores, you can buy them online, holistic medicines, holistic herbs, anything of that nature with holistic in it, and it will give you or tell you what to do to take as far as eating an herb, making a tea or something of that nature to take for whatever you're going through, because that will help you instead of taking a bunch of pills that's going to kill you down the line. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, and verse 4. The Lord have created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. And speaking of those books that I was just talking about, that information came from the Israelites. We had that information. That information was stolen from us and put in books to make it seem like the Edomites or whoever the author of that book was, so-called, discovered that information, now wants to help you. We originally had that information, but that's something that we lost because we didn't follow Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So now we got to go buy something that was originally ours from the first place and then implement the remedies or the herbs, the teas, the natural things of the earth to replenish and repair the bodies.
I believe King Solomon had that showed unto him. The Wisdom of Solomon is what we're going to talk about. I believe King Solomon had that. Because Native American, they was good with that stuff.
Our Northern Tribe brothers, even our sisters of the Northern Tribe, the indigenous of America, the ones that came here.
I got it. It's Wisdom of Solomon 7. Oh, you was going on. Go on.
They had that information. They showed the Edomites what to do. That's how they got flip flop. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17.
Go to 20.
Oh, okay. For he have given me a certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of elements.
We're gonna get stuff in the kingdom of heaven, like stuff we don't know about now. So,
verse 18.
Before you continue on, Esau will say, if you go looking it up, because I found it like, how does lightning work? Esau's like, truly, we don't know. We don't really know how it works. There's just theories and stuff. But really, how it really works, we don't know. So that's just to give an example.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is verse 18. The beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons.
So the beginning, ending, and midst of the time, King Solomon was showed certain things. So amongst the prophets, King Solomon, he was showing like certain things. The beginning, the middle, the ending.
Verse 19, the circuits of years and the position of stars.
All right, there go the Orion belt. Even I can identify that. It's in the scriptures as well, the Orion. And you can see it, the Orion belt, 3 stars. In modern time, they depict it as a man with a bow, and then behind him, you got the Sirius star, which is also known as the dog star, which is supposed to be a dog in the sky. The dog, I think, is supposed to be a companion to Orion. Then you got what they call the bull. And Orion looks like Orion's fighting the bull with his dog. And it goes on. You got the Pleiades trying to save the thing. It's mythology it goes into. I still say that I forgot what it is, but who Orion is supposed to be fighting. It's still I say it looks like a snake, but oh well.
All right, verse 20. The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots.
Plants and roots. And you know, there's more plants and roots than what you may find in a book. Because I've seen brothers, I don't know where, Salakia, but I've seen it's like I think the president was taking some sort of something. It was like I didn't even know that plant existed.
Mm-hmm. They stole it and kept it for themselves. And they want to give us pharmakia with poisonous ingredients to kill us, but they're taking the natural remedies that we once took.
Oh wait, look. You have a cold, take this. Side effects may include dizziness, headaches, heart attack, strokes. It's like the symptoms are worse than the disease.
Worse than the disease. You're better off just enduring the headache and waiting for it to pass than taking something that's going to cause all those ailments. And another thing that liver decreased liver functions.
Liver, I think Motrin. You take too many Motrins.
Yeah, the decreased liver functions.
It's bad for your something. I think aspirin it loosens your blood. It's like too much. It's
Yeah,
like, oh my
the
goodness.
aspirin thins out the blood.
You take all this stuff. It's like, oh my goodness. May cause side effects.
It's wicked.
You see them commercials, dizziness, heart attack, strokes. Consult with your doctor first. You're not. They tell us to like we are not liable if you obtain a heart attack. If your arteries get clogged, and they say something, it's like I didn't even know that disease even existed. What is this symptom? Oh my goodness, it's some bad stuff right here. Yes, Solomon. I think Solomon had a lot of wisdom. Hey, read this. This is epic.
Okay,
what
verse
the heaven
21.
called revealed unto Solomon.
And all such things are either secret or manifest. Them I know.
Man, you can go to Solomon and listen for hours.
Mm-hmm.
This is all fact. Because you watch fantasy movies, you'd be maybe certain. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But Solomon, he's like.
Okay, verse 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be let it ready to do good.
The wisdom we got is 100% true in these scriptures. That's how we would go into 2nd Ezra 15, and we jumped on to 16.
Mm-hmm.
We're even going to the wisdom of Solomon. Because a Christian might say, I don't know what that means. Even in wisdom of Solomon, they might say, how do you know wisdom of Solomon is correct? How do you know?
The Christian's always going to say, I don't know what that means. Because the Christian has a version of information that was created from twisted, distorted from the Catholic Church.
A distorted mirror of the truth.
Just because Martin Luther nailed the 95 or 90, whatever it was, theses on the door and ran with Christianity, doesn't make those things correct. Because first and foremost, the name of the Father is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. It's not Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because if his name is God, God is a title. What's his name?
Mm-hmm. So Martin Luther, in all you're doing, it was still wrong. You were still following the Catholic Church doctrines, and when you incorporated it into Christianity.
And the Muslims, they're false too.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed the brothers some earlier with the Muslimanity and Muslim. I'm gonna butcher the names. I forgot the names. But there's a whole thing behind it, and they were supposed to be devout Muslim men, and they wrote about things with Muhammad. Muhammad was gay.
There you go.
They had the men ride him in the middle of the night, all night, and these men were tall, dark skinned, I believe, lean. Didn't say how many men, but they rode him all night. He came in the morning. He fell asleep on his friend's lap and he was in pain. When those men departed when sunrise came, he was in pain when he went to his friend from the things that they did when they rode him all night long.
So they're following a deity that's a mo, essentially.
It didn't say how many men, and these men were known to be for their sexual appetite. They had long rods that did not become soft. They was always erected, like the obelisk in Washington. the obelisk in Washington represents a phallic, the man's
Mm-hmm.
Penis.
No different than the Greeks. The Greeks followed gods, and they have well, there's the big 12, but they have more than that. But each of those gods, men or women, were in some type of homosexual relationship with other people. So Zeus, he was with men and boys. Hera, the same thing. Ares, the same thing. All of these men.
And incense probably as well.
Mm-hmm.
And say, all right, this might end there. I hope not.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Did we get cut off?
No.
We still going. Oh.
Okay. All right.
All
We're live again.
There you go.
All right. Delete some stuff. All right.
All right.
We're live
There
again.
you go.
All right. Delete some stuff because YouTube don't let this play through. We'll have something. All right. So yeah, the roads going to Greek gods. They're like gay and stuff. And
Yeah, the Greek gods. But if you go and you research, type in a Greek god, and then put it was this Greek god, whatever it was, gay, information will come up. And in most of them, it states that they were with someone of the same gender, even children. That's promoting pedophilia.
Bestiality, don't forget that.
Don't forget, don't leave that out.
Loki, he had sex with a horse when he was in his horse form. But guess what? Loki's a male. He became a female horse and buffed children out. So he got pregnant.
That's that going into the transgender, the Baphomet. The Romans have the same gods that the Greeks worship. They just changed the names. We all know that Romans, for lack of better words, are freaky people, that they were involved in homosexuality and bestiality and all this other type of stuff, from the Caesars on down to the peasants.
It's some Diddy stuff.
The gladiators that fought for the Romans in the arenas. Yeah, the gladiators were men that entertained women as well, but they also entertained men in that way as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
I know they were slayed. Emperor Nero, he kicked his wife to death, something like that. He killed her. He was by kicking. He found a boy that looked like his wife, had him castrated, and then put him as his new wife. They did that kind of stuff in ancient Rome.
Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, they're doing the same. There's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. They're doing the same thing here, just on different levels of discreetness. Some things are pushed to the front, others are far more pulled back, but they're still doing it.
Type in nothing new under the sun. All right, now you go into the LGBTQ people. What's their thing? Pride. These 6 things doth Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are the abomination under him. First thing, powerful look. So they're not just doing the LGBTQ. They declare their sin as some, as the scriptures speak about. They have pleasure in unrighteousness, as the scriptures speak about, and they're doing it with pride. That just added fuel to the fire. All right, throw some more wood in, throw some more air.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's adding more fuel to the fire. You got pride about it.
It's more fuel and more wood going into the oven.
More wood in the oven that will just fire come back upon you.
Uh-huh. In the ancient world, the ovens were not like the ovens that we have today.
Think of, for us, like a bread oven. Stick it in there 3 seconds to pizza or whatever, take it out. Better wash your fingers before you don't get burnt up.
Fingers will get burnt up too, right along with the food.
The bread, it takes like seconds because it's how hot it is.
In India, they have ovens that are kind of like in a circular form that go vertically but circular, where they put their bread. And they have to take these long pokers to position the bread around the fire for it to, it's the naan bread, flat bread essentially, for it to cook.
Because that thing is long, by the way.
Yep. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. They're still practicing LGBT and so forth. They're still practicing idolatry, still practicing wickedness. They're still practicing
all that wickedness
all
and
the abominations in the earth, in the land.
That goes back to Revelation 11:18. Spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Spiritually Sodom to actually going to ancient Sodom. This is Rome 2.0, so it's all going to come back again. All that stuff they did. The bestiality, the child, the pedophilia, all that. Except they got better technology to do it even on a greater scale.
Mm-hmm. Greater scale is true. because now instead of dressing up a little boy as a little girl as they would have done in ancient times,
You can alter him.
you're gonna alter him, take him to a so-called doctor, physician, or surgeon, say turn this boy into a girl, and they do it, and they pay for it.
There was a movie about that. You were telling me they kidnapped a man.
There was
his wife.
There was I think it was either his wife or his daughter. He took his wife or his daughter. So what the doctor did, he was some renowned doctor. He changed the man into a woman, and then as far as I know, there's supposed to be a scene where
I think he was raped.
a criminal or something of that nature, somebody showed up and saw the woman, which was really the man that was changed, and he took that person to know what it felt like what he did to the other woman. Never seen it. A trailer came up when I was watching something else, and I was so disgusted I just turned everything off and went outside and went for a walk. But that's basically
and
what happened.
let you know, brother, if he did that to another man, he would look like a woman. Was that
Yeah.
Is that gay?
And in the trailer,
That's gay.
the trailer isn't that long. So they showed the criminal man or whoever that was that committed the act, and then the next thing was the changes, and then after that,
weird side.
you know, had like longer hair and then had feminine features. Obviously, because it's a movie, they had a female play that role.
Oh yeah.
But the idea was that was the man that was changed into a woman.
But sometimes you might have a hard time telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. So now you're going into trans surgeries and transgender.
But yeah, that's still gay on that man.
Mm-hmm.
That's still gay.
Abominations.
Even if they go to jail and look like a woman, that's still gay. Because the women in jail, they become men will look like men, and then the women go after the man, but the man's really a woman. That just adds a layer of confusion. That's still gay. Still not right. Anyway, go back to 2nd Ezra 15. Let's see if I bring out another point.
I just read the Ecclesiastes 1:9. I wanted to bring out
16, so like 2nd Ezra chapter 16.
2 Thessalonians 1:6 to wrap up this one point. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense trouble to them that trouble you. We were troubled in the transatlantic slave trade. We have been troubled by living in America. We have been troubled in the past. That's because of our disobedience. However, it's still a righteous thing for Yahweh to give a recompense of tribulation to those that troubled us. So those that troubled us, number one on the list, Esau, Edom, they're going to get a recompense along with all the other heathen nations, our enemies.
This is transatlantic slave trade.
Isaiah 22 and verse 18. He will shortly violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of the glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house.
Tossed like a ball. Where? In the slave ships. I had a dream one time I was in the slave ship. That thing was compact. I think it was like this big.
Mm-hmm.
He was laying flat, and the wall was right here. And it's dark. It was short-lived. I remember the dream. It did not extend. It was just short-lived. It was somewhere. The dream was like right here, and my back was against the floor. It was like that big. They ain't got hardly enough space in there.
Nope.
You can't lean up. You know how you take your leisures of leaning
We
up?
were treated the same way you would put cargo boxes in a ship in a certain sequential order and line them up. That's the same thing that happened.
I gotta correct you on that, brother. People treated worse
Worse.
because they at least clean it. I think keep it somewhat clean, maybe.
Well, my point is the cargo boxes, the way that they're stacked in position.
I see your
That's
point.
the same thing they did with us with the
Yeah.
different quarters with the men with the men. Let's just stick with the men on the transatlantic slave trip, those ships. So in the center middle, they had us coming down, and then we were positioned in a certain way to pack us in to get as many as possible.
And it was stink. They said that the slave masters couldn't take the stench that came up. That's what I was saying. It was worse.
You lock people up and essentially lock people up in the dungeon. That's what the slave ship was, essentially a dungeon where people have to go to the bathroom, or if somebody gets sick and regurgitates, there's going to be a smell. And let's just stick with the men, if all of the men are going through that, there's going to be a smell from all of the regurgitation and fecal matter and urine and so forth. The sweating and
the blood, the tears. And let's just add the women on the ships. Periods, childbirth, pregnancies. I don't know.
And that also speaks of how nasty this devil really is.
Yeah.
To keep a woman in prison and in chain where she's not able to wash correctly, going through the motions of her body as being a woman, and then he wants to go in and have sex with her. But then at the same time, the Russian people, the Gog and Magog with the Rus, it was said that they were the most vilest and filthy practices anyway. So that's who we dealing with here.
I believe I believe it was the Vikings. Didn't they have public sex?
Yes.
Marriage orgies?
Yes, they did.
You can imagine they come home from war, stinky, sweaty, doo-doo juicy. I can't with this.
I know we laughing because you trying to wrap your mind about that.
But
hygiene, but that's the devil that we dealing
see
with.
Something like this. There was slavery. They would bring the slave master the bucket of water. They would wash their face, all that so on. So yeah, they go boom, boom, blow their nose into the water, pass it on. They do the same thing, blow their nose into the water. Y'all just in your own snots. In your own snots. That's your father's snots in here. There you go, mother. Have an order they did.
And those practices are still being conducted today.
Don't sleep on West Virginia.
The area where I reside, there's a family that has a bucket, and each one goes into the bucket and takes a bath in the backyard.
I think that dog was licking the water.
And the dog was in there before they got in there. Let's just put it that way.
Esau, let's go to the book of Job. It talked about he was more violent than the earth.
Violent than the earth.
Man, you have to be dirty and stink. It's like wait. Esau is the enemy of the Most High.
Yes.
Israelites are like supposed to be like the, Satan's counterpart on the earth is these devils, and the Israelites were supposed to be the godly people. For God created man to be an image of his own eternity. Now we sinned and stuff and fell down, but you see how the Israelites were supposed to uphold. So upholding like the teachings of the Most High, his laws, his statutes, commandments, all that includes cleanliness, because Yahweh Shemeshai got the altar of confusion,
that's right,
but of love, as in all the treasures of the saints.
Absolutely.
He's not dirty. He's not confusion. If you have stuff confused all in the house, that looks dirty. But Esau, he's the exact opposite, which means he is dirty. He's the villain, but he's also dirty. He's disgusting. It's the exact opposite. Because the Most High deals with cleanliness.
Yes.
Is the spirit world dirty, filthy, and stink? No, it's not. But the opposite of being against the Most High would include dirtiness, filthiness. So that makes sense for Esau to do that. That also shows that he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Because the opposite of being with the good side, on the right-hand side of Heavenly Father with cleanliness, is being dirty, evil, and stinky. Man, that's bad. It's like the height. It's like, as an Israelite, it's like, this is too dirty. I have to stop here. Even the dirtiest Israelites, they said, I have to stop here. I need to clean up. I can't let this slide. But it's like Esau, that got taken out of it. Because, Esau, he was the, I forgot the name of it, but he was the beast man. He's the caveman. Renaissance time period, 1,000 years, he was in the bottomless pit. The Revelation, that bottomless pit was Europe. He was the brute beast out there, eating stuff. And so it's in the book of Job. He had them juniper roots. He was out there. He was the because they braid after men. The scriptures speak about. They go You see them, you start running. They was wild folk. There's a name for that, but I forgot what the name was. But they was the beast man back then. So they Yahweh Shem Yoshai got them out of that base state, leveled them up. In the kingdom of heaven, though, they're going to be not in their high estate as they're in now.
They're going back to be the base man.
Let's get that in Daniel, the basest of men. Now they won't be allowed to be base, because then they do some incense stuff, because they're gonna be there. They're gonna be punishments, so they won't be allowed to do stuff like that.
Yeah. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watches, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of heaven, and giveth to whosoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men.
That's Esau Edom time, right? Because of Edom. So them Rothschilds, if you go back, they go back to the caveman with the Renaissance time period. The earth is not 10 billion years old. The earth is like 20,000 years old or less. It's not 100 million years old. It's not even 50,000 years old. So those are lies. Ye are Job 13:4, brother, get that. Ye are forgers of lies, physicians in those lies, as is written about the book of Job. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust thereof ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, he abode not in the truth. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, because he is the father of it, or the father of lies, as is written about in John chapter 8, verse 44. John chapter 10, verse 10, you read that? Devil cometh not only but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly, as Yahushua spoke about in John chapter 10, verse 10. He also spoke about John 8:44. And originally that was said to Israelites, but that applies to Esau as well.
Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
So we went into that. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16.
Verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Where's Babylon, brother?
In America.
America, Asia. Do the Hingahong people live in Asia? Yes, the Chinese, they're in Asia. So woe to America, woe to China, different Asian countries as well. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Verse 2.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. That represents mourning. Bewail your children, bewail your sons, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Verse 3, that's self-explanatory.
Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
Doth thou have an arm like God? As written about the book of Job, cannot have a right arm like God. And it goes on, book of Job. Who can turn these plagues back? Who can stop the will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua?
No one.
Let me think. I don't need to think about that, because no one can do it.
No one can do
The
it.
creator of the ends of the earth fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth might to them that decrease in strength, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. I butchered it. But he fainteth not. He's the creator. He's the Ancient of Days. In the scriptures, the Father equals the Ancient of Days, who is his name is Yahweh. The Ancient of Days is referred to in the book of Daniel. He created his only begotten son, Yahushua. Yahushua is not the Ancient of Days, by the way. But the Ancient of Days, the Father, Yahweh, also known as King of Terrors, created his only begotten son. Yeah, and he got everything a certain way. There's nothing you can do against the Father. He set up his son to have everything a certain way. If you take down the son, you take down the Father, because the Father's, according to the Father, the son cannot be taken down. So to take down the son, you overpower the Father. And the son even said, Yahushua, my Father is greater than I. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
Nobody can turn away those plagues. Nobody can turn away the hand of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. One angel can destroy the entire world. World go boom, Death Star's down. That's it for everybody. The end of the movie. You picture that pig. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
And they can have that appear, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The earth be destroyed, and you see this big giant TV 2D thing. Like, that's all, folks.
Yeah,
because the angels is like the Q that can do all kind of stuff. That's all, folks.
Verse 6.
Verse 4.
A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?
A fire, nuclear fire is coming to America.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
You know what, bro? Maybe they call the fire department.
The fire department can't do nothing with that.
Y'all, the nuclear missiles like unto a mini sun.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quench the sun like that. You throw all this water in the sun, it's just gonna get burnt up and melted and so on and so forth. Not saying you'll melt the water, but yeah. if I see watermelon, that's gonna be the end of it.
5.
Go ahead.
Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? No
Oh,
one
but
can do that.
we went into that.
Now, verse 6.
Punishments. That's the first scripture we started on. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. That equals plagues. Prudent man foreseeth the evil. Evils equal bad times, which equals plagues. But the prudent pass on and are punished. These plagues are coming from punishment. A child does wrong, they get in trouble, whatever the punishment. Whether it be timeout or whatever else. I'm not saying you be abusive, because the scripture speak about do not be as a lion in thy house. No, don't be abusive. But in Esau society, you go like this. That's abuse, right? That's not abuse.
All right, verse 6. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn?
It's a hungry lion in the
Hungry
wood.
lion.
You have to kill it. And if you can't kill it, yeah, you're done, John. And this is ancient world, by the way. A hungry lion in the wood, that's something to be dangerous about. They didn't have guns and missiles back then, so there's a hungry lion out here. I got a spear and everything, but you still gotta watch. That lion's coming with extra force because he's hungry. If that lion got him some prey, he's not leaving that. Because you see in Africa, you see the men when they go for the lions, they all scared. But if that lion's hungry, that lion ain't leaving. Y'all got to fight. And y'all gonna lose, ain't y'all? Take off your head, everything. The lion's paw is gonna come like a guillotine. And if your head is there, they go flying. It might bust something else in their head and kill them too. Anyways. Or make one quench the fire in stubble. You know, you want to start a fire in a for cooking. I'm saying that. You know, you got a campfire, you got your rocks around to prevent fire from leaking out. You got to clear it out somewhat so the whole forest don't catch fire. Do all your safety stuff. You got some stubble, get some charcoal, all that. Go like this to the stuff, have it like stubble, charcoal. Start that fire, that thing go up. Now you can cook your food. So forth.
Okay. Verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer.
Man, that ain't that. No, you can't do that.
Once the arrow is so, keep in mind for this think a bow and arrow. Once the archer, the person that has it, goes like this, releases the arrow and it shoots, no one can turn it back. It's the same thing with the intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're also referred to as arrows in the scripture. They start like this, they get launched in the air, then they level themselves out, then they come back down to hit their target. No one's going to be able to stop that.
Guns are arrows, like a modern day arrow, like a
the bullets. If you look at the bullets, the way that they're shaped and the way that they look.
Yeah, because it's like you go from stones, throwing a rock, to throwing an arrow. Now you got a gun. It's like a rock coming out the gun. It's like an arrow. To prove also ICBMs, nuclear missiles are arrows in the scriptures, as the brother was saying about, you go to look up ICBMs. If an ICBM gets missing and so on and so forth, it's referred to as what in the military terms? A broken arrow. So ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, are arrows. Intercontinental ballistic missiles are arrows. Verse 7. No, verse 8.
The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
The mighty Yahweh sendeth the plagues. Who is he that can drive them away? It gave it examples of who can stop this, that, and the other. None can stop it.
None can stop it.
And verse 8, my goodness, none can stop it. Verse 9.
Okay. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?
Get the a fire is kindled in mine anger, and it burneth unto the lowest hell. That's deep. Some deep stuff. Hell is the grave or a condition. Prove hell is the condition. Jonah chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Jonah was like, out of the belly of hell. But where was he? He was in a fish's belly. Oh, whatever fish it could have been, it may have even been Leviathan. Prove hell is the grave. King David was in a fierce battle. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. He could have died in the midst of war. Not that he saw Satan around him saying, today you will be with me in torment. No, King David could have died in that fierce battle because the snares of death prevented him. You go back before verse, even one verse before, snares of death prevented me. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. It's in, I believe it's Psalm 18. When King David got saved, it was a fierce battle, fierce fight. You got it, burned to the lowest hell.
Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
I was looking for that, like the foundations of the earth. It was in the same verse. That's the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see. This happened because, yeah, verse 21, the Most High got upset with us, with the Israelites. So that's why that happened. If you go to verse 21, just to prove that, right there, for edification's sake.
Okay.
21 and 22.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger within a foolish nation. For a fire in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell. Kindled in my anger, shall burn to the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
So yeah, that's because the Most High got upset with Israel, but the Most High is also upset with the God is angry with the wicked every day. The book of Psalms. So the Most High is he's upset with these heathen nations. They forwarded the affliction is written about. Get that? Forward the affliction. It's either Zechariah or Zephaniah. Starts with a Z.
I think it's
So the Most High, he was upset with his people, the apple of his eye. Look what he allowed to happen to him. Esau, of all these other nations, we're talking about you, Esau. You did the worst. Tabernacles of Edom, number one enemy on the list of enemies for the nation of Israel in Psalm 83. You did the worst to the true children of Israel. So, if this happened to the apple of his eye, what do you think is going to happen to you, Esau? It's going to be bad.
Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
So yeah, the Most High is very upset with the Edomites.
Mm-hmm.
His son Yahushua, I and my father one. Yahushua spoke about not one in the same entity, but one accord. Yahushua does not know he's coming back, and he said the Father is greater than himself, proving that's some serious levels of power right there. Quote Elder Apostle Gafar. I agree with that, brother, the Elder Apostle Gafar. That's some serious levels of power right there. The Father being greater than the Son. That's just something far beyond human comprehension. Anyway, this is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. They forwarded the affliction when their time of iniquity had an end.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
The time of their iniquity had an end. Emancipation Proclamation, Abraham Lincoln. They still did Jim Crow law, so on and so forth, even till this day. Lynchings and all that.
Set you on fire.
Laugh about it. Have some tea over it. Yeah, he's over there burning, screaming. It's a good day what happened. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Their own possessors held themselves not guilty, but slain the Israelites. And they love it. You had a perpetual hatred. What's perpetual mean? Never ending. Goes all the way back to Genesis. Remember Esau, he hated his brother for the blessing. And it goes on. When the days of my father of mourning are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Esau was like, that's wicked. That's what Cain did to Abel in the garden. These people's wicked. You're like, your brother, you're gonna murder your own brother.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say, well, my brother, he got the greater blessing. You know, I'm gonna let him have it. I'll be servitude unto him. Shalom, brother, I am the servant. Nah, I'm a man of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Pop.
Like that scene from when he's in the shower. You better watch out, Jacob. Jacob's in the bath washing up. Esau come behind. That's wicked.
That's wicked.
But they still do that now with the kings and the queens. Now with the it's in the book of Daniel. Oh, sister put up on the thing.
Shalom. Now, that takes us back to Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 10.
Before we go there real quick, the kings and queens, I forgot what it was called, it was a time in history where the kings and queens, they were just killing each other and so on and so forth to get the throne. Because they might do that, like say the brother here get the throne as the king.
Romans did that.
So like me, I'm the other brother, I'm like, no, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to plan his demise. Nah, let him be the king. He's the king, I'm not the king. Mm-hmm. Let him rule. So on and so forth.
They were killing each other for that power seat.
This man is wicked. Just let your other brother rule. You don't have to murder him. You're already royalty. You get royal stuff and everything. Just let him rule. Oh well. Murderers get put to death according to the law. The avenger of blood shall slay the murderer, as is written about in the law in the Old Testament. Yahushai, he's coming like the avenger of blood, because Esau is a murderer. He has slain the Israelites, so that blood would be avenged. Do not shed innocent blood in the land. Don't be murdering people of the land, because that land cannot be cleansed except by the blood of him that shed it. Esau's blood has to get shed in this land because of what he did to the children of Israel.
Revelation 13 and 10, he that leadeth into captivity
shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Captivity equals what? Slavery. He that leadeth in the slavery shall go into slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. The sword is what? Modern day sword is the gun. You got a lot of other weapons though. You got hatchets, knives, so on and so forth. So this man has to get the avenger of blood, because Yahushua is coming to avenge the blood in this land. Kidnapping, according to the law, also means you get put to death. Transatlantic slave trade. You got kidnapped from west coast of Africa and brought over here. Now let's just say it like this: what if me and you was from the west coast of Africa and the reincarnation? So we would have got kidnapped, taken over here, slavery, and so on and so forth. We never saw our family again, and we're still in the land of our captivity from being kidnapped.
Right. 100. Yep.
So we got kidnapped, but now we have no house and stuff, but we're still kidnapped in the land of our captivity. We just don't remember it, but you could have been kidnapped.
From a certain point of view, it's also a form of being Shanghai. You were taken from one place to another on a boat or a ship to work as a slave, but the joke is on us because we were never free to go back to where we came from, because we're in this captivity.
Oh man, that's a joke.
There's no home to go back to, because as in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68, we'll see Jerusalem no more.
Thou shalt no more see it, the land where we came from. And it's being trodden down now, the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the land is the land as it is right now is. When we got taken out of the promised land like that, it was never the same since even till today.
Even to this day.
The JEWISH people, they're ruling it. So even if Israelites were in the land, because you have Israelites scattered everywhere, there are some Israelites in the land, it's never the same as when it once was. So even till today, from that point of view, they're not seeing the land, which is still fulfilling the curses because it's being ruled over by someone else. Let's say you rule over the chocolate factory. You get kicked out the chocolate factory. Somebody else replaces you, and it's an orange factory. So you go back to your old chocolate factory, but it's an orange factory. You never saw your chocolate factory. Now you're looking at your chocolate factory, but it's an orange factory now. So you never saw your chocolate factory. When Yahushua come back to live with the children of Israel, you are going to officially see your chocolate factory. It's going to be changed. Second Ezra 16
and verse 10. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
Now, I can tell you, now, the laser beams, they're going to be like thunder and lightning. That counts there. Second Ezra 16:11.
16:10.
10. Oh, 10? Slide, let me click on it. Oh, okay, I was going ahead. Yeah, even normal lightning and thunder.
Yeah,
you ever been
in
that?
See people, as soon as it starts thundering and lightning, they start ducking and trying to get out the way.
If you ever been in thunder and lightning, if you ever been in it personally, especially in a field, not you city folk with you tall buildings, you see the light and go, ooh, that's scary. Even still, they might jump, they still jump, and they come down, they still jump. But in your field, and you see all that going above your head, going like this, it coming at you, but it turns in midair, you get said, you know what, it's scary out here. I've been in that kind of weather. Me and the brother walking. That thing came out, it came and then turned. It came at us and then turned in midair. If it wouldn't have turned, we would have got struck by lightning. Unless it would have stopped it. I seen that. You see lightning come all the way from out the horizon and zoom across. It's coming at you, but it's above your head. And then it boom. It's scary. I think you see it come real close by you. You hear it shake the ground. It's like the air vibrate, shaking the vibrate in the air. Scare somebody. Missiles. They come. It's gonna be boom. Now the chariots shoot out lightnings, which is what? Laser beams. Picture a lightning bolt coming straight down. That's like a laser beam.
Yes.
Who shall not fear? Thunder. Them chariots, they're gonna come with some thunder and some boom and some loudness. Remember, it's not going to be no. Oh, that chariot is so cute with little rollers on it. Ain't gonna be throwing out roses.
No.
I love you. Free love. Live and prosper. Live and prosper.
No.
Free love. The angels ain't gonna do that. The angels are fierce. They're terrible to look upon. That's what you speak about. They scare. You got evil angels, which are demons to some, angels to others. Demons are evil angels, but they're still angels. Them unclean evil spirits, they are angels. So they're angels. They're just evil angels. Read about the book of Psalms. Was a Solomon goes into that. Get Psalm evil angels to prove the point. And Kings and Chronicles talked about, I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and on the whole host of heaven sitting by him on his right and on his left. Yahweh is on the right hand of the Heavenly Father. Even Stephen saw that. Yahweh has the righteous good angel. You know that. So who's the opposite left? Satan, all his angels, and so on and so forth. The evil angels. Just to prove the point. We're going to prove the point. The evil angels for education's sake, if you're new.
Psalm 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them.
Evil angels among them. So that got sent to the ancient Egyptians. That's going to happen to the modern Egyptians. Wisdom of Solomon goes into that. You might call them ghosts. So they were seeing ghosts out there. They were seeing creepy stuff. They saw the boogeyman. That would have, just to clarify. And the Powerpuff Girls, I saw a scene because all these years later, remember the scene, the boogeyman. Listen up, all you freaks and disasters, and chill the frag out. You freaks and disasters. That's referring to spirits causing freaks and disasters. This man got killed in a freakish manner.
Freak accidents.
Yeah, they call it that. That was the spirit behind that Yahweh Hashem Shai sent out. Sirach 39 talks about spirits created for vengeance. Man gets set on fire and then killed by a bear. That's why he's on fire. Spirits created for vengeance. Fire and teeth of wild beasts. Fire is a spirit created for vengeance, and teeth of wild beasts. That's spirit created for vengeance. There's spirits behind it. Spirits equals what? Angels behind this. And then you had like the boogeyman when things get ugly and so on and so forth. Blame it on the boogie.
There's an actual evil angel behind that.
There's spirits behind this stuff. Mayhem, a commercial is the Mayhem guy. He's like, I'm a Rottweiler dog, and you're walking your little child, and I bite the dog. What's your insurance at for this? Spirits created for vengeance. There was a spirit put on that dog. There's an angel behind it.
So do that to bite that child.
And it was God. Did the angel do it on his own accord? Is Satan going around saying, I feel like biting people today? No, he does the will of Yahweh.
That's the will of Yahweh.
Now, John chapter 5, verse 22 and 23, get that? For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son, honoreth not the Father, which hath sent him. So these fire that's coming from these nuclear missiles, Yahweh Shai wills it to be that way. I will fulfill all my counsel. He will do all his pleasures written about in the book of Isaiah. Matthew chapter 10, Yahweh spoke about, fear not them which kill the body, but afterward are not able to kill the soul, but fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. We prove hell is a condition of the grave. Hellish conditions here upon earth. You can get killed, brought back in reincarnation, and get killed horrifically in a different way.
And serving out the judgment in this life.
Yeah, the place of judgment on the Sunday Apocrypha. You also got a story about, whether it be true or false, a girl got paralyzed. She came out the hospital. She's not paralyzed anymore. So everybody was like, yay. She went out, got hit by a car, got paralyzed again. That's divine judgment.
Final Destination. There's movies about that. There was a woman that went to go see the latest Final Destination movie, or one of them, and while she was watching the movie, the ceiling fell in on her and killed her.
That's judgment.
That's judgment.
which judgment also equals justice. You know, if you go to court of law, this criminal must be punished.
So she was watching the movie essentially about judgments on people to take them out, and that judgment, the judgment fell on her while she was watching that.
That was justice being executed upon. That was his angel sent forth. Because you know you got a criminal in court. He did these crimes. There must be justice served upon him. And there's justice however they do it, and so on and so forth. If they even do justice.
This is
Go
the
ahead.
book of John, chapter 5, at 22, verse 22. For the Father judgeth no man, but have committed all judgments unto the Son, verse 23, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father which hath sent him.
And that was red letter words of Yahweh
Yes,
right away. And it was 23, but you said 22, 22.
Oh, so let's go 24.
No, 23. I was just saying 23.
23, okay.
That's all. Yeah, and the word there for honor in the Greek is temao, which means to have an honor, to revere, venerate. So worship the Father, fear the. Venerate means what? Regard, great respect, revere. Fear the Son, venerate the Son, worship the Son as you the Father. Don't be like, well, I won't worship the Son less than the Father. No, you're supposed to fear and worship Yahweh Shai as much as you fear and worship the Father. If Yahweh Shai says it's okay, it's okay. You go against what Yahweh Shai is saying. You're going against what the Father's saying. Because the Father got the Son set up. All power is given to me in heaven and in earth, as Yahweh Shai spoke about in Matthew chapter 28. The Father ain't going to make no mistake.
Nope, no mistakes at all.
You say you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Second Ezra 16
And 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence.
Go to Second Ezra 13. This is good. When Yahweh Shai come back, you're gonna have people that's going to be like powder.
What verse?
Let's start at verse 1. Just go quick.
All right. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night.
That's self-explanatory.
And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. 4, verse 4. And whosoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire.
So verses 3, who is that walked strong with thousands of heaven? That's Yahweh Shai.
Shai.
Come back, all the holy angels is written about in the book of Matthew. And whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, a laser beam was coming out the UFO, the chariot. A laser beam was coming out the spaceship. Or maybe even flying saucers.
Chariots, spaceships, flying saucers.
Next verse, okay.
And that is going to be
5.
5. And therefore, this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
Ronald Reagan, I think it was. I believe if there was an alien threat, we would all come together now, put aside our differences to come against this alien threat. These nations, all of them, they're going to come against Yahushua when he come back.
That was Ronald Reagan, and after Reagan, there were other presidents that gave the same speech.
The water, brother. The water, son, but they are.
All right, we are up to verse
6.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it.
He flew upon it. That mountain is what? A chariot, what the world calls UFO or UAP or even a spaceship. Yahushua is coming back in a spaceship for all you non-believers out there. It's a spaceship. And it's not crazy. And it's not like, y'all bucked out the head. Why would God come back in a spaceship? Maybe he's an alien. No, it's in the scripture. Wisdom of Solomon 5. The strangeness of his salvation. Yahushua to come back with spaceships. He's going to come back with his big spaceship. Speaking like unto a great mountain. The angels, they're going to come back with him with their own spaceships.
All right, 7. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight.
They're gonna be scared when they see Yahushua. People get scared with normal thunder and lightning clouds. How much more when Yahushua come back with those spaceships, with those chariots of Israel, with the chariots, what the scriptures call the chariots of Israel. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands. Oh, get that.
I'll get it.
The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. When Yahushua is going to come back, he's going to be amongst the angels as in Sinai in the holy place, as that was back then. But now, the word there from God in the book of Psalms is Elohim, chariots of Elohim.
This is Psalm chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place.
That's how it's going to be when Yahushua come back. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahushua is going to be among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So chariots of the angels, 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahushua is going to be among them as in Sinai in the holy place. It's going to be so many UFOs, spaceships, UAPs, whatever they call it. Some may even say, that's a flying saucer. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1 is going to go into, I beheld a flying roll, and not no bread roll, a scroll, the shape of a scroll. What they may call nowadays a cigar-shaped UFO, or even tic-tac UFO. You look it up. And them chariots, they be moving. You got orb chariots. I've personally seen this. It looked like a metallic orb, just a ball, perfect spirit in the sky, just floating across. You'd be looking like, how is that flying up there? There's no propulsion, no fire, just a metallic ball floating in the heavens.
From what we can see, we see like a floating ball from down here.
Yeah, we see a floating ball, metallic looking spear, so just floating across. And you can look up like UFOs been seen accounts. Yeah, let me do it. One of them is actually the spear, metallic spear. That's how they describe it. The same way I describe it. UFO reports. These are supposed to be official UFO reports. Ooh, I don't know how to get it now. But it's like different time periods and stuff. World War I and World War II, they called them Foo Fighters. When Chavez was there, they called them Foo Fighters. Oh man, I can't find it. But yeah, they'll show you like different type. Let me see if I can find it. Different types of UFOs. Here it is, UFO types. It's supposed to be chariots that have been seen. Globe-shaped, the metallic ball. Different UFO shapes. The lights. 1943 U.S. 1946 U.S. 1946 Sweden. 1947 U.S. 1947 U.S. 1950 Spain. You know, you see the ones at a distance, they look like stars, like floating across. You know, it's chariots. Even saw the triangle one. You even have rainbow lights at one point. That was a straight up chariot. That came in chariot form. This is the it looked closer to the 1989 Prism chariot. And I believe they even got a picture of that nowadays. Because they have some pictures of chariots. Some are more blurry than others, so on and so forth. It was a wonderful sight to see the angels, which are relevant pursuant to the book of Revelation. The angel was like, I am thy fellow servant, the brethren. Worship Yahweh. For the testimony of Yahushua is a spirit of prophecy. Yeah. Why you bow down to me? Don't worship me.
I am thy brother.
Fellow brother. A servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Angels are messengers. You have prophets. The prophets are messengers. They're earthly messengers. But you have divine messengers, which are the angels. Scriptures speak about a cruel messenger. You don't want to be like a messenger of death. You're the messenger of death. I am giving you a message. Brother had a dream that he saw the angel of death, and it was dealing out judgments. That's what it was represented of. People's being hacked, hewn apart, ripped apart like an ancient world man of war. Accuracy. I didn't have the dream, but I can just imagine. And he was moving fast. That sounds like some Shadow Mortal stuff. If you played the game, Shadow Mortal, the Shadow Strength.
That's from Lord of the Rings franchise.
It's like, or even some Dragon Ball Z high speed movements, killing people. People running before they realize stuff is flying in the air. Limbs is flying.
Being cut up and devoured.
So you're like, no, stop. Arm goes off. Oh my goodness. Torso going off. They're in half from the torso up.
Mm-hmm.
They got the man they was after. Precise accuracy. Right between the eyes. Not over here, not here. Right between the eyes. It went up. And they cut the other man in half again. I don't know how to treat, but you can imagine when them angels get down, they get down. They do the will of Yahweh.
Yeah, they do the will of Yahweh Shai very well.
And
too.
Exodus 15, verse 3, if you read that, get that. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. King David and his mighty men. The scriptures speak about when they fought, they was chaffed in their minds as a bear bereaved of her whelps. So they were chaffed in their mind as a mama bear bereaved of her cubs. That's how they fought. They was bitter in their mind like that. They was angry in their mind like that. When they fought, you would go to war. And you know how a mama bear, she get down for her cubs. She'll go after a male bear just to defend her cubs. So King David, his mighty man, just imagine King David was a man after the Most High's heart. How much more the Most High when it comes to a man of war. So them angels get down and start doing judgments. They will have such sights to show you. It's going to be horrific. Get it, Exodus 15:3. No. There will be such sights to show you. There will be hell upon earth. Hell being a hellish condition.
Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
What's kind of worse, but I can get you a second. We can get a second shot. 5%. Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. While you read that, I'm looking for the shot. Got one.
What?
Verse 12. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 12.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, can I get an orange cable?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. So the glory of his power, glory of his power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. The earth quaketh, the foundations are going to trouble. The sea is going to rise up with the waves from the deep, troubled. So this is before the Lord. Who can stand up against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Who can stop Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Who can quench the arrows of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? No one, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is in complete control and does all these things. I got a precept. One moment.
Because scriptures speak about the mountains melt before the presence of Yahweh.
I'm gonna get that, but one moment because it's.
We might have to move a bit, brother, to the thing. I don't know.
One moment.
Yeah. So if the mountains are melting, mountains are literally going to melt when Yahweh Shai come back. Also the governments, but that's going to be magnificent.
Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. The Lord, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, does all these things. He makes the peace. He creates evil. He created the light, forms the light, creates darkness. He does it all. It's all in his blueprint. It's all in his power. And he already mapped it out what's going to be. There was another precept. One moment.
So yeah, great evil is coming upon this earth. Destruction, evil brings bad time. Yahweh Shai is going to bring about. Get that Isaiah 45:7.
Okay.
Slaka, you get what you get.
No, I got you. I got you. I got you.
Isaiah 45:7. This might be the wrapping up precept. Oh.
Now, this I just read this. We're gonna read it again. We're gonna read it again. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Yahweh Shai is in control. He does it all. The light, the darkness, the good and the evil. It's his show. It's his script. He has it all planned out, and it's all going according to how he planned out for what is unfolding.
I formed the light. You saying what was your last point? That was it?
That was it.
I formed the light. Yahushua is the light. Yahushua came in the volume of the book. This brilliant light, this gospel, this truth, that's light. And create darkness. Yahushua is going to come back and bring great darkness. So you see Yahushua matching both of these here. The Father created Yahushua. You see that being there. The Father formed, created the Son. I make peace. Yahushua is going to bring peace till Shiloh comes. Shiloh means peace.
Yes. Shiloh is Yahushua.
When Yahushua comes back, he's going to bring peace. By what? By war. Mace Windu, there's a joke about it when he killed Jango Fett, I believe that was his name. He was pretty peaceful after that, wasn't he? Because he got killed up.
That was in the second Star Wars movie.
We are keepers of the peace. I'm sure he was pretty peaceful.
Star Wars.
I'm sure he was pretty peaceful after that. And create evil. Yahushua is going to come back and bring great evil upon this world. Destruction, woe. Not that Yahushua is going to come back and start sitting and having orgies with men and stuff. No, evil can also mean bad times. Somebody gets shot in the street, that's evil.
Just like the evil angels are executing the judgments and bringing the death and destruction and calamity upon people in the world that we live in, that we can see, the corporeal world.
Yeah, the 3D third dimension world that we see. And the angels don't sin. Evil angels and good angels. If you talk about the angels that sin, that's the Israelites, us, Psalm 82, verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are sons of the Most High. The word there for children in Hebrew is sons. The word there for gods is Alahayim, the angels are Alahayim. That was us that sinned. These evils are coming. But Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, let's get it. I will deliver you from the same.
That's the one of scripture.
74.
Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
The days of trouble are at hand, saith Yahweh, for I will deliver you from the same. 7 and 6 troubles, 7 shall no evil touch you. 7 trumpets, that's the nuclear missiles that's going to be cast upon the world. And the elect will be saved. The days of trouble, percent of it, nuclear war, the elect will be saved and delivered from that. So on that note, anything else you want to bring out, brother?
That was all.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Kal
halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakal Kadash B'Rakti Yahweh B'Rakti Yahushai.
Shama Yasharallah, Yahweh Allahayinawa, Yahweh Achad. Shama Yasharallah, Yahweh Allahayinawa, Yahweh Achad. B'Rakti Yahweh, B'Rakti Yahushai. Kal halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakal Kadash. Shalom.
Shalom.
Double odds and us, Jim, that's great wisdom. Shalom.